Hello and welcome to an Amulet Titan deck tech. So, as I'm sure anybody who's watching this knows, there's a lot of different variants of Amulet Titan running around right now. Lots of different variants of prime time decks right now. It's a good time to be a fan of that 6/6 giant. What I have right here is very close to Dilk's list, which he just brought to the SCG event, bringing back Explore. Now, I've been a big fan of Explorer since I first started playing Amulet Titan over a year ago at this point. Explore to me was always like a card that was just almost good enough. And I really liked it because it enabled more turn 2 wins, it enabled more busted starts, and it was a very powerful card against mid-range and control decks when you're just looking to keep hitting your land drops and they're going to keep you off of Scout and Azusa, either through discard or counter magic. What changed and what really made Explore better again is two things. One of those is Once Upon a Time. So Once Upon a Time kind of replaces Stirrings, and I think it just does a better job of what Stirrings is trying to do. So because of Once Upon a Time, we're able to be more consistent at dropping a turn 1 Sakura-Tribe Scout. We're able to more consistently find prime time faster. What Stirrings let us do is find Amulet faster, or find a Tolaria West. Once Upon a Time doesn't help us with Amulet. Once Upon a Time helps us with Scout, Azusa, and prime time. Now if you take a step back and say, well, the whole point of the deck is Amulet of Vigor, you're wrong there. I think the point of the deck is just playing primetime as quickly as possible, and the fast wins always have to do with Amulet of Vigor. The combo wins, wins when people remember, when you swing in with 3 Titans on turn 3 and just say, yeah, and give them all double strike. Good game. Those are the games that you need Amulet for. But we don't need Amulet anymore to win games. We just need a primetime trigger or two. A single primetime trigger getting a Field the Dead and saying every single land drop for the rest of the game is going to make a couple zombies is how we win a lot of games right now in current Modern. So we want to drop a primetime as fast as possible, and we know that with only 4 amulets in our deck, we're not guaranteed to have one. So what helps us out there is Castle Garenbrig, which is that second big piece. So Explorer works really well with Castle Garenbrig. Like, we already know that a turn 1 Scout can lead to a turn 3 primetime without Amulet. Just by consistently dropping lands, we can actually have a turn 3 primetime thanks to Castle Garenbrig. Explorer fulfills a similar role and lets us have more turn 3, turn 4 Titans just by dropping a ton of mana as fast as possible, which is why we're running 30 lands right now. That plus Explorer is really good because once we get that primetime trigger, regardless of Amulet, we're going to be getting Field the Dead. We're going to turn that online and make a ton of zombies. There's a whole deck archetype right now just built around dropping a primetime with Field the Dead. Obviously, Amulet Titan's more flexible. We have more powerful opens thanks to Amulet. And we have, I think, a cooler array of sideboard cards because we can run more colors if we need to. Those decks are more blue-green based. Amulet decks can run any color splash. We were running Path of Exile a while ago, a Braid, Assassin's Trophy is a card that sometimes pops up in Amulet lists. So a lot of really cool things in this direction. So the first piece that was removed was Ancient Stirrings, thanks to the redundancy that Once Upon a Time gives us. That opened up that extra element with Explore, which made the deck, I think, just more consistent and having more. Explore fills the role of, like, it's a really bad cantrip, but it is a cantrip, and it also can fulfill a mini Azusa/Scout role if all you're trying to do is crank out a Titan with a Castle Garenbrig. So a couple things I was trying in this league. I'm trying 2 breeding pools and the 2 gemstone mines, which I'm not sold on yet. I know breeding pools really important with Castle Garenbrig, and I was running 3 of those this league. And I like Castle Garenbrig a lot. Being able to save 1 mana is really important. Apparently, getting 2 mana out of 1 land is really good in Modern. Who knew? I'm still really happy with the 3 Dismembers. A lot of lists I saw were only running 2, but I think 3 is just really important to combat things like Infect, Devoted Druid decks, and just to hit like a key creature every now and again. You can see in the Jund matchup, I still only brought in 2, And in most matchups, I'm probably only going to bring in 2, but when I want that third one, again, Infect, Devoted Druid, maybe a Leonin Arbiter here or there, I'm really, really going to want that third Dismember. Mystical Dispute, I'm not sold on. I know with Oko right now, I think it's more important, but I just think Disdainful Stroke might just be better. I did bring in Mystical Disputes against Burn, because I figured it was just having extra Pact of Negations wasn't terrible, and 3-mana Mana Leak is still okay. It's not great, it's not exactly what I want to be doing, but it's better than some cards I have in my deck against Burn. I'm not running a Radiant Fountain in my side, I'm instead running an extra Baloth. That's to help combat a couple things. Radiant Fountain is a superior sideboard card for Burn. End of statement. Obstinate Baloth is okay versus Burn. Obviously a 4/4 body, gain 4 life, it's pretty good. Radiant Fountain is better against Burn. Obstinate Baloth is in my sideboard over Radiant Fountain because I bring in Obstinate Baloths anytime I'm expecting my opponent to be bringing in Ashiok. Against Ashiok, Baloth actually can do something and can threaten to kill her and take her down before I can land a prime time, where Radiant Fountain just going to say, and I gain 2 life and I'm still kind of locked out of this game. Beast Within is another card right here, which is another way to answer Ashiok. It's another way to answer just kind of some pesky permanents and kind of do its job there. But really, the big reason why I'm running the 2 Baloths, can't repeat this more, isn't for Burn. I'd be running 2 Radiant Fountains or 3 Radiant Fountains. If I was worried about Burn, which I really shouldn't be as an Amulet Titan player. I think we have like a 60% win rate against Burn, just as a whole. I think my win rate with Amulet versus Burn is ridiculously high. I would be running Radiant Fountain. But I'm not, my sideboard isn't just geared to beat one thing. I want to be able to be good against everything. I only have so many slots against the Ashiok decks, and Obstinate Baloth is a really nice card I can bring in. I've actually been bringing in Obstinate Baloth against control decks if I know that they have Ashiok, simply because they can kind of take over the game. If I'm not just dropping a prime time against a blue-white control deck if I don't have a trigger, because they're going to have Path, they're going to have Terminus, and then I got no value and nothing happened. But if I can drop a Baloth, now they're going to Path my Baloth? They kind of have to. Otherwise, their Ashiok dies. And it kind of makes this gameplay where I get a little bit further ahead until eventually I can drop prime time, get some field triggers, and win the game. So that is why Baloth is in my list. This is the quick deck. I mean, under 10 minutes. Perfect. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will get back to you. Thank you. Have a great day.